Good day and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing Reconciliation Road and transitioning into Northern Solutions. You can now visit the website at northernsolutionyellowknife.com. Okay, so the first matters that I wanted to address is a recap on the forms and applications we filled out for the National Day of Reconciliation. We completed those and made the deadline today before 4 p.m. September 6th, 2024. And we will be waiting reply from them in the later weeks. I also wanted to mention updates on the podcast. ACX has been downloaded and we made a profile. Unfortunately, we need to apply for Audible's program to basically recruit narrators. So once I get some of my recordings transferred over to MP3 versions, then we can start uploading on that. So that also will be updated on a later date. Okay, so bringing that we began that podcast for the ongoing impact and access to capital, and through these initiatives, Indigenous voices will be heard. So we plan on holding a gathering on September 29th and September 30th at YKUC to celebrate Indigenous cultures. We will be setting up a mini teepee, providing bannock. We'll be making fry bread, and also we'll be providing tea and coffee. And that'll be happening during the day. So if anybody wants to know more details, just put your requests down below in the comments. Policy and advocacy. So we looked into institutional investors and impactful business decisions that affect us. And this is how we're getting our voice heard. We are forming a corporation, and that is very interesting. It is, because it's happening right now. Also, like to mention hereditary and elected membership declaration. We talked about incremental steps and commitment to the reconciliation process, and we have a list of members. And even though our members are very small, our goal is to identify gaps in how financing is being used, knowledge-based, and at the community level, what can we do now, and what have we already done in sweat equity. You can check that out on the website, northernsolutionyellowknife.com. In the top left-hand corner, you can click on the link to YouTube and to Facebook for the art section. And YouTube is free to watch. You don't have to sign up on my channel to view my videos. So there is a direct link there for everyone to focus on. Just to get a recap on the business section of the website. So we'll be separated from politics and focusing on the business section, guidance in the best practices, setups of trust and what is done with the money and the land at the end of the day. So we'll be talking about greenhouses, we'll be talking about how to survive on the land and how to harvest. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, the host, Dan George of Reconciliation Road, has a podcast hosted by himself. It's called Come Along for the Ride. You can visit his website. I believe he is president and CEO of Four Directions Management Services since 1993. And it's a wholly owned Aboriginal economic, social, and community development organization dedicated to responding to the express needs of individuals and organizations. Communities, industry, and all levels of government in British Columbia, Canada, and abroad. Very cool. So we have begun some networking, and we plan on staying connected. We'd like to get in touch with him. He has a sign-up page I just noticed here for first name, last name, email address. So I'll be signing up for that so I can get in touch with him. And we will be changing the name of the podcast as soon as we get approval from Audible and Amazon and ACX. So, next is strategy. Talk about filling out forms. Identification. Founder versus co-founder. What's the difference? So we looked into this when it comes to starting up corporations and businesses and groups within communities, organizations, and government organizations. We have an understanding that the difference is crucial for anyone to step into the entrepreneurial world and building a business with partners you trust. The guide walks you through everything you need to know about the differences between founder and co-founder and how to choose the right co-founder to help ensure your company's success. And I have picked my mom. So, the CEO and development of the business, startup founders share the entrepreneurial journey, often bringing different skills, perspectives, and strengths to the table. So this is what we're looking for. We're going to reach out and see who we can contact about making alliances. We know somebody in the Métis Alliance, the YKDFN, Wellness Division. We also have connections through YKUC. Next topic. Will be about applying for workshops. We would like to start facilitating and getting participants in that facilitation. And also, if you've been following me on media through Facebook and YouTube, I have been letting out clues about a fashion show. And so we'll be talking more about the fashion show in the next days leading up until Reconciliation Day, September 30th. We'll be releasing the details on that. And so our topics were startup ideas, startup resources, funding, leadership, marketing, spreading the word, getting people to subscribe, signing up for opportunities, agreements, making contracts, and fulfilling those contracts. Getting the final thoughts of members and communities abroad. We're in the pursuit of ideas. We are connecting all of these ideas so that we can all come to a standard goal. And I can see the end of the tunnel is very bright. All right. So, as I mentioned before about the application process, event information, this will all be released in the next week once I get response from the GNWT about funding. actually only applied for $500 for the funding as of today. All right, coming up, honoring Orange Shirt Day. That's what we've been talking with this event, and it's important. A space for truth-telling and for commitments to challenging ongoing colonization. It's now an official day across Canada, and the Official Shirt Day Society offers leadership for this important space, as all of Canada joins in efforts to honor, remember, and change. So, yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. In recognition of the system we can never allow again. That was a blurb from Phyllis Webstad. It says here, invite your community to host an online event with the Indigenous Racialized Young Scholars, Indigenous Racialized Youth Scholars Program. The 2024 Indigenous Racialized Young Scholars cohort has completed their research on various anti-racism topics. Their respected findings and they were presented in written and in creative art. So in different creative art forms. Yeah. So you can make application for 1 hour online event. This is really interesting. I wouldn't mind checking it out. IR Youth at united-church.ca. So I'll be looking into that. Included in the presentation will be a question and answer session where the audience can converse with our youth scholars on the topic they presented. These online events will be used in ChurchX platform and will be held over the fall season, September to November. For those interested in hosting an event, please email. That's really fun. I think I'll look into that. I'll check that out next week, and I will keep you updated on it by next Friday. Also wanted to mention the Treaty Land Sharing, Keep Learning, Keep Celebrating ways to support Indigenous communities year-round. Indigenous women dancing in traditional clothing as National Indigenous Peoples Month. We hope everyone enjoyed exploring, learning about, and celebrating Indigenous peoples, rich cultures, histories, and languages. Please continue to learn and celebrate throughout the year. Here are just a few ways to support Indigenous peoples. Make a donation to the Healing Fund. The Healing Fund, established in 1994, is a great grant that supports healing initiatives in Indigenous communities to address the ongoing impacts of the residential school system. Justice and Reconciliation Fund, JNR, so it says here, was established in 2000 by the Residential School Steering Committee of the United Church of Canada to assist the church in understanding and responding to the legacy of broken relationships, and broken relationships that have resulted from the, oh gee, I need another light, hold on a second. Indian residential school system. Indigenous ministers retreat. Northern Indigenous communities are facing an ongoing state of emergency, and their ministers are the only ones readily available to offer care, comfort, and guidance in these situations. For more information and video messages shared by Indigenous ministers for Pastors Retreat. Visit the United Church website and consider a gift to the Pastors Retreat today. Make-Wish. Thank you for your valuable time and consideration in gifting to Indigenous initiatives. To learn more and stay connected, follow the UCAN Indigenous Ministries Facebook page. Please have a look at the website. I did not actually include a link there. I should have put a link. So I'll have to update that for next week. And of course we have a list of calls for prayer. And you can find these at northernspiritrc.us8.list. And it says -manage.com, but I don't know if you could just put it in Google. Northern Spirit /list. And it's a prayer cycle list. It's a pretty actually extensive list. And it includes a lot of other places like Cabo Verde, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal. It's different places to pray for. Thank you for joining my channel again, for listening. I will be updating you further about our qualifications for funding, reaching out with contacts such as Dan George. Yes, and increasing our knowledge and our history, ancestry. You know, nobody said it was going to be easy to change history. Amen. Masi chao.